But the focus of today's session was really to stay focused on, you can get the post running, and when you get some traction, you can build it on with a pipeline on the back end, just like I showed you. And yes, I'm going to share this pipeline so you guys can all just input it, change the words out that we walked through, and start using it today. What are we talking about today? We're talking about the My Posts section. So over here, where it says my, oh gosh, come on. So it just says My Posts on the left-hand side. It's the third one down. What this was designed for originally is for those people that are making hand raiser posts on anywhere on social, right? Because it's really difficult if you say, hey, do you want my free lead magnet? And then you post that 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 times, however many times, it doesn't matter, all over the web, everywhere on social. And then you have to try to magically remember, where the heck are all those posts, right? And so one of the reasons we built this section here, so as I click into it, you'll see some things that are pretty cool here, is you can take any post from anywhere on all the socials, and you can one click and add them right into your system, so you can track all these different posts. And what's really unique about this is it shows you likes and comments, and then you can hook it up to a pipeline, which I'll go through in a minute, how that works. And the first thing is, let me show you how quick and easy it is. So if I just click open post, so say you just go to Facebook, doesn't matter where you're at, right? I click the open the post button, so it'll take me right to that post. That's really cool, because now it takes me right to the post that I have. So this is a great example of the exact type of messaging we could do in a post. Now you can drop this on a personal profile. You can drop it in a group. You can drop it on a page. You can put it on LinkedIn. You can put it on Instagram. You can do it anywhere, right? And we can always grab those post data from everywhere. Right below the post, you'll see 2 buttons, right? The first button is this auto reply to comments. What does that do? Well, when people start commenting, we can click this thing and we can set up some variations of what we want to reply, and all the number of replies we can just add right in there. So that's pretty cool that we have that feature. If you didn't know that, that's cool. And the nice thing is we can say something like, hey, sent you a DM. And then we can add a variation, and it'd be like, check your messages, sort of thing like this, right? You can add another variation. You can add a whole bunch of different variations. And then when you hit the go button, the first one's going to get the first reply, the second one's going to get the second reply, and so on and so forth. So hopefully that makes sense. That's how that auto reply to comments button works. But the one I want to talk about today is this import this post data. So okay, so let's go back here. You can see right now I have 37 likes and 159 comments on this specific post. And if I come back in here and I click import this post data, what it's going to do is it's going to update, click to update the data. So every time you go here, all you do is click this one thing one time. You come back here, 37, 150. So that jumped by 2 comments, as you can see there. So it'll automatically update just by one simple click of a button. What's really cool. And then we have this ability to auto reply to all of them. So you can see here, I've replied to all of these. There's lots, like I've seen like reply, 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 reply. And then down at the bottom, there's a couple more that I haven't replied to. So I was going to walk you through kind of this process. Before I do that, I want to share, and again, drop questions in the chat. We'll go through this. What I typically do is I'll come in here and then I'll import all of the commenting profiles, right? And so we have 160 comments. So I can click 160 comments and it'll say view previous comments. And if I click previous comment until I have all of them showing, right? So you can just keep clicking this button until they all show up here. There we go. So now we have lots and lots and lots and lots of comments on this thing. And then what I can do is I can simply click this one button that says import 71 commenting profiles. It's the import feature, right? And so I would say this is our scripts. I actually do it like this, scripts. I use a hashtag in there, scripts request. And the deal amount for us is 1997. And I'm going to put them right into this main pipeline, the DM scripts pipeline in the imported section. And I'll make them green because I'm the one that's responding to them. I hit start. And so what I've done now is I've taken all the commenters and I've actually added them right into that pipeline. As soon as this thing finishes, now we see 7 more leads have been added to the pipeline. Well, which pipeline did they go into? Well, I put them, as you guys know, into the pipeline that I chose. So here it is, this scripts one here. So if I right click and open this, so now I've got the pipeline. And you can see here that I've got this really unique pipeline that's teed up directly after that post. So it says here, imported from the post itself. And yes, I'll give you this pipeline share code in a second. I've got all the SOPs in here. So this first step is prospects in this stage have been imported after liking a two-step post you made on your social platform. The stage's next step is we left click, review the conversation, confirm we sent them the link, because if we didn't send them the link, that's something we need to do. And then we paste and send the 2-day follow-up when the card says to do so, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to walk through exactly what this looks like, and then I'm going to talk about the data. So if we go back to the post just for a second, and I hit close, I've imported all the people into my system. And now the next step that I need to do is I need to go down to the bottom here, and I need to find the ones that I haven't replied to, because there's a couple, right? Here we go. And it says we got Jay and we've got Jody. So we've got 2 of them. So what I do when I'm doing this, so you can see very simply, first thing is I always like that message or heart that message. And then I write a manual response because I didn't use the autoresponder. You can do either, whatever is best for you. No problem dropping you a message now, ... smiley face. And then I'll hit send. So I drop the comment, okay? And once I've dropped that comment, then I go to his profile here, and all I do is I click the message button, and I manually have this. Now, you could set it up. Okay, so actually I sent it already. So this was a message. Hey, here's the link to the scripts guide. I drop the link, and I say, share your favorite part with me. Okay, so now I've sent him the guide that I promised from the post, and I've imported him into my system. And so this was sent 13 hours ago. So what I can do is I can drop back into the actual message here, or into my pipeline, and we can go find Jay. Where's Jay here? Let's see if I just do a search for him. Here he is. Okay, so now I have Jay, and it says that I'm supposed to follow up in 1 day, but I'll just show you the process. Now I've imported him right from the post. All I have to do is click this one button. It's going to pop right back into his messenger. And I can very simply copy and paste the template. So here you go. Here's the message that I sent him. And then I would just come back up here, right click, paste. And it says, were you able to review the scripts guide? What was your favorite part, or where did you get stuck? And I would send that message. And then just like any other system, I come back and I drag that guy right over here. So that's my 2-day follow-up for the lead magnet sent. And then this flow goes in the same direction. Now I'm going to go back 2 days later, and I'm going to say, invite to help. Hey, did you want help with whatever the lead magnet leads them into the next problem? When they say yes, I would send a booking link. If they don't book, there's one follow-up. And then when the call gets booked, and then of course you have the call and make a purchase. So it's a very simple and short pipeline, and it's got all these SOPs are just tuned up exactly how they need to be for exactly what you need to do. And then what you can do as I share this is if you click on pipeline builder here, you can just come in and add your stuff instead of our stuff, which is very simple. You can see it says, were you able to review the lead magnet? Whatever your lead magnet is that you're sharing, you would just change those words out. And then you could go on and say, do you want help with, the next one would be, do you want help with your whatever thing it is that you're serving that person? So you would just replace these messages here, or these words here. And then you'd go down, you say, great, your next step is to hop on a call with our squad. And then it's like no obligation call, book a time here. You would just change our booking link to your booking link. Very, very simple to do. And then it's like, hey, did you book yet? Yes or no? And then when they book, hey, pumped to see a call. And again, same one here. And then of course, call booked and then purchased. And so it's a very short and simple slam dunk of a pipeline. And why I'm sharing this with you, it's really valuable because we can track how effective our messaging system is, right? So here's another one. I'll just go through the process again. So here's Jody, right? So again, I'm going to like this post. I'm going to reply here as a comment reply. And the nice thing is when you're dropping these comment replies, what happens is it counts the comments up. And when your comments get posted, every time somebody comments on a post, like in a group, this is in our group as an example, it doesn't have to be in a group, but when you're posting more comments on any post, what it does is it'll push that post way up to the top of the feed. So now this post is consistently hitting the top of the feed in our group, and more people as we join. You can see there's 2 more members here that are going to join our group today. They're going to see this post as one of the very first posts as they start to scroll down the feed. And then they're like, if they're interested in it, it creates this cycle of perpetual opportunity. And so Jody here's like, and what I always do is I try to make sure that the comments that I'm dropping are always different. If you go back and reply any of this stuff here, you can see different replies there. Sometimes what happens is, like, for example, this young lady, when I've tried to message her, I haven't been able to send it, right? So here it is. It looks like, oh, it did actually go through. This one finally was sent. So now she's been sent. I can wait because it was 10 hours ago. And then I'll follow up in 2 days to see what her favorite part was of that lead magnet. So I always try to make different responses for the comments. Lovely. So excited to work with you. Dropping the scripts guide now, right? So this can be very simple. You don't have to say much. Check your DMs. So just something very simple English to say. Anyone can write a message like that. You hit send. So now you've told her in the comments that is pushing this post to the top of my feed. And then I just have to go deliver by clicking message and saying, hey, Jody, here's the scripts guide you requested. You requested. So this is also kind of an off script. You can put this into your system if you like. I just left it out because I usually just write it manually. Here's the scripts guide you requested. And then I would say scripts.flowchat.com and I hit send, bam, like that. And now this is, and you see how it says it couldn't send, right? So sometimes when that happens, if this is the case, what I'll do is I'll go back to my comment and I'll actually reply here. And I'll say, I'll edit this thing and I'll say, so excited to work with you. And then I would just change this. I'm glad that happened. I tried to drop the scripts guide, comma, I'll make sure to get it to you as soon as the FB algorithm allows me to send. Okay. And I always try to ask a question in a comment because or if you can't send it, I always ask a question because I want her to come back and reply. Because again, the more comments you can get running in any post is going to generate what they call, renewed velocity. It'll push that post back up to the top and it'll get more people to see it. And so that's the move in terms of how to navigate if you can't send the message for one reason or another. Sometimes it has to do with if you're not friends with that person. So then I would just click the friends button. And now I'm going to be friends with Jody here. And then I'll be able to drop that over to them right away. So that is kind of on the messaging side. And then it will put everybody here in this pipeline. And then once we're in the pipeline, we just run the flow. Okay. And what's really unique about this is I only started this thing about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. And I've been running this thing. You can see I have 7 people who've actually just straight up purchased right after a call very, very simply. So typically when I send a booking link, people are quick to book. And then I drop it into the booking and then the call happens and then purchases are made. And the nice piece about where we added in my post section, this is where the results of this particular pipeline are going to show up. If I go to that post, I could click here, I have it open. I'll just go back here. You can now see that here's my post. We know what pipeline it's designed with. And so now I've just added all these KPIs. I can just click here and I can add a KPI really quickly if I want to. So I've said, how many have been sent? I've sent 75 lead magnets. Of 75, 8 people have booked, or I've sent 8 links, 8 of them booked. So I was 8 out of 8. So I was 100% on when I sent the link to get a call booked. That proves that the lead magnet that Chris built is extremely helpful and people are loving that, right? And then of course, from the bookings, look at that, 10 people have purchased. So some people already had a call previously and they just went ahead and purchased. That's a crazy number. If you were to divide 10 by 75, it's like a 14% buy rate, which typically in any messaging sequence, you're seeing a 1 to 5%. This is more than almost triple the buy rate. So again, this proves the concept that if you have a really important and well-built lead magnet that solves a narrow and specific problem, and it leads to your core offer problem. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, you're a house seller, a real estate seller, and you know that you get paid when a home gets sold. And before they have to sell the home, maybe they have to get a bug inspection report. Maybe they have to get contractors or landscaping. Maybe they have to get some other sort of service. What you can drop as a lead magnet is going to solve that narrow and defined problem before your core offer of the house getting sold is like, here's the 10 things you need to make sure your landscape has in order to be able to sell your home. And if you give that for free, it solves a problem, a small and narrow one, and it leads to the core offer of, oh my gosh, like this person was so helpful. They gave me this way that I could now go like make sure my contract or my landscaping is tuned up. And then now I can just turn around and get them to come list with me, and then I sell the house and make money. So that's kind of how this whole system works. It's very simple to tune that up. And the last thing I'll share with you is if you don't want to use it for this particular type of flow, you can use it just to track other posts. You can see if I click here, it's going to take me to a different post that I made very similar to the one that I just showed you. You can see it's a different color. I use the exact same formatting, but it didn't get any traction. Wah-ha, boo-hoo, didn't work, right? So that's kind of how that works. And so, but the nice piece is I have it tracked here, and I can check this by just one click, look at the post. If it does work, I import the data and I start messaging. Same thing with this one. I got a few more comments on this one. This is the same exact post in a different place, but it just allows you to have the speed and efficiency. As you can see, this was a podcast secrets group that I dropped it in, and I had 1-2 people request that. Of course, I went back and I did the reply, and then I did the reply and I actually messaged those people back. Same thing. I can click import this data, and all it's going to do is just update that post if there is anything to update there. And so this is how this type of system works. And again, the other thing that I use this for every now and again is like if I see a post that I really love, I'll just import it right into my system. Like I am a geek when it comes to prompts on ChatGPT. Sometimes I just use it to store posts. So there's a lot of uses on why you can use my posts, but the focus of today's session was really to stay focused on you can get the post running, and when you get some traction, you can build it on with a pipeline on the back end, just like I showed you. And yes, I'm going to share this pipeline so you guys can all just input it, change the words out that we walked through, and start using it today.